I wonder, do you feel like you're analysing your life to death? You're smart, you're capable, but you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, thinking the same thoughts, getting the same results. Well, I suggest that the tool you're using to fix your life, your intellect, is actually the thing keeping you stuck. And I want to show you how to access a different kind of intelligence, which I call your innate wisdom. The intellect is a library of everything you've already learned. There's nothing new in there. It's a recording of what was. So it's useful for driving a car, everyday functioning, like filing your taxes like I had to do last week, but it's past-based. What does that mean? It means it can only recycle old information. Wisdom, on the other hand, like I say, it's like insight. It's fresh, it's live, it's connected to the source. It's where new ideas and aha moments come from. So you're trying to find a new solution to your life in the old files of your library, what was. And that is why you feel stuck. Overthinking. It's just a habit. It's not a necessity. When we face a challenge, we tend to grind our gears, don't we, in our mind? We think harder. But thinking harder just creates more noise. You can't hear the whisper of wisdom when the noise of your intellect is at like volume 10. So you don't need more techniques. You don't need more strategy. You certainly don't need any more thinking. What you need is less noise, less thinking. When we're talking about how to access this wisdom that I'm referring to, it's effortless, really. It's not something you have to do. It's something you already are. So you don't find wisdom. You simply notice when you're caught up in the intellect. And what do? You gently let go. So it's about taking away. It's a subtraction. You're not adding to it. When that habitual thinking settles, your true nature, which is clarity, which for me is infinite potential, it just naturally floats to the surface. And that's where effortless creation happens. You're acting not because I figured it out, but because it suddenly becomes obvious what to do. So perhaps you're asking, okay, if I don't do anything, well, how do I get there? The truth is you don't go there. You stop leaving there. You're already in the space of wisdom, but you're distracted by the noise. So here are 3 simple ways that you can use to stop that distraction. What I call the check-in, which is simply noticing the feeling. So stop looking at what you're thinking about and look at how it feels. Intellectual grinding of our mind's gears. What does it feel like? It feels heavy. It feels tight. There's an urgency to it that it needs to know now or else. You compare that with wisdom. Wisdom is calm. It's clear. It's not rushed. And it's really expansive. So the moment you notice that tight feeling, don't try to fix the thought. Just got to recognize, that's just the noise of the intellect. And it's that recognition alone, it creates the space for it to drop, the wisdom to come. Secondly, I try deep listening, as it's called. And this is listening beyond the words that we hear. And I like to think of it this way, and this is what I try to do. Practice listening to life the way you listen to music. And when you listen to a song, most people, probably you're not analysing every note, are you? That was a C sharp 7, down to an F2. Who does that? You're not analysing that. You're completely in the flow of emotion when you hear a song. So try this instead in your conversation or while you're sitting in silence perhaps. Stop listening for information to analyse. and listen for the feeling behind the words. Because when you listen with no agenda, the intellect goes offline and wisdom comes online. Thirdly, I like to call this the great unknowing. It's simply, I don't know. We're terrified of not knowing. It's like we always have to be in control. And that is marked by knowing from moment to moment what the hell is happening. The intellect always wants an answer now. But here's the truth. Wisdom lives in the unknown. So next time you're stuck, actually say to yourself, you know what, I don't know the answer. And I'm okay with waiting. You just got to relax into the not knowing. And that surrender into the not knowing is the signal that invites the fresh insight to come through. Now, maybe you're objecting at this point. This seems very passive. You don't want to be inactive. And so you think, well, if I stop analysing and just wait for wisdom, I'm going to end up sitting on the couch doing nothing while my life falls apart. I can't afford to be passive. Well, wisdom isn't passive. It's responsive. And it's the difference between, a forced action, which is grinding away, and what I'd say is an inspired action. Something the ancients called the flow. Now, you might feel stupid doing that. Of losing the tool of your intellect. Are you saying that thinking is bad? I need my intellect to function, to do my job, drive my car, etc., etc. I can't just be a mindless, like a zombie. Well, the intellect, it is a wonderful servant, but it's a terrible master. You still use the intellect to get the task done, whatever it is you're thinking of, but you use wisdom to choose the task. And another objection that gets raised is, it just seems too simple. We have a distrust of simplicity. I was looking for something complex. My problems are complex. We're talking about trauma, debt, divorce. I've got to regress to my inner child, etc., etc. So a simple solution like just quieting down. For some, it will feel insulting. Big problems need big, complex thoughts to solve them. For me, it's a symptom of the intellect. It's one of its diseases. And wisdom, it cuts through complexity to give you that singular, all-answering solution. It's like a simple lever that moves the mountain. And there's maybe a few of you screaming in resistance right now. And that's the intellect fighting back, and it's saying, wait a minute, if I stop thinking and analysing, won't I just become passive? If I let go of the wheel, won't I crash the car? And that's the biggest fear. The fear that if you aren't worrying about something, you're not working. So let me be clear. Accessing wisdom is not about becoming a vegetable. It's not about passivity. It is about flow. So here's an example. Think about a basketball player, NBA elite athlete in a key game. When they're in the zone and they're setting up a shot that's going to get the winning point, do you really believe they're thinking, okay, move left leg 30 degrees, adjust my elbow, right foot forward slightly, turn head back, thrust torso forward 10 degrees? I mean, if they thought that much, they'd never get off the bench. They'd trip over. These guys are moving faster, more accurately, because they're not thinking. They are in absolute pure responsiveness, which is that, that state of pure flow. And that's what we're aiming for. When you drop the heavy analysis, you don't stop taking action. You just stop taking desperate action. And I'm not telling you have to throw away your brain. Your intellect's a brilliant tool. Use it to do great work. Build a house, build rockets that go to the moon, plan your holidays, schedule your week, etc. But don't use your intellect to navigate your life or to define your worth. Imagine you're sitting in front of a glass jar filled with water and dirt from a riverbed, okay? You've just picked it up from the riverbed. And you want the water to be clear so you can see through it. Now your intellect, which is that helpful, over-helpful, busy, analytical mind, thinks, I need to fix this. I need to get the dirt out. I need to do it now. So it's like sticks a spoon in the jar and starts stirring, trying to scoop the dirt out, trying to push it to the sides, as it were. Okay, so what happens? The more you stir, the muddier it gets. The more effort you apply, the less clarity you have. So you see the parallel here. And this is what you've been doing with your life. You've been trying to think your way out of everything. Think your way out of overthinking by thinking. It's crazy. You've been stirring the mud to find the clear water. Well, let me put it this way to you. Wisdom is the understanding that you don't clear the water by doing something to it. You clear the water by just leaving it the hell alone. So when you stop stirring, you stop trusting the noise and start trusting the silence, what happens? The dirt just settles all by itself. Why is that? Because gravity does the work. Nature does the work. And what's left is what was there all along. Clear, pristine water, ready to flow. You don't have to create wisdom. You just have to let the mud settle.